Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heads and Dovetails. Jamie and I just been having a little chat. I'm Gill Harvey-Bush, and I'm talking to Jamie Hubbard today. Well, every time we do this podcast, actually, Jamie, so I don't know why I said that. The time just whizzes by. I don't know where it's gone.
Just doesn't.
It does. But how are you anyway? All right?
I'm good, all good. Yes, waiting on a grandson. He's comfortable. Let's put it that way. He's not
He's
showing
staying
signs yet.
put.
Yeah, lots going on, lots of bits going on, and I feel I'm getting through things. I think it's because I can sort of see an end game in a few 12 months' time with big, huge bills and things. Let's just put it that way.
Great. As I know
And
you were saying
it's
about your
making me think
mortgage and
things. Yeah. So yes, one thing that I have done, and this is what we just sort of well, you reminded me, these blooming chairs. Chairs. Now, I love repairing chairs. I love fixing them. I love all of that about it. And you meet different people and whatever. But I've repaired about 5 or 6 of these chairs. Let's just call them chairs. They're from the Far East. I can be more specific, but I think it's wrong because I had a young lady come in while the festival was going on. Festival went very well.
the glass
Yeah, the
festival,
glass
wasn't it?
festival was.
And I think that's interesting because we'll talk about your approach to that as well, because you and
I
I had
lo-
a quick chat
I
about it.
closed the door. I closed the door, and I used to have a clicker where I clicked how many people came in and saw that as success. Ooh, no, I closed the door. I was in a right old grump. Put a YouTube video out saying I'm grumpy. I'm not in the mood for this, and I wasn't. I really wasn't. There was just too much rubbish going on. And I found that by having my door closed and a little sign saying, I don't know, you're welcome to come in if you want to discuss woodworking and workshops and whatever courses.
Because that's actually the bit that you explained to me was that before people have come in and kind of gone, oh, well, because it's a glass festival, they don't expect to
Yes,
see a woodworker. So I know when you rang me and we had a little chat about
we
it, you
did,
were
and I'd
saying,
forgotten about that. Thank you, Jill. Jill
Uh,
rescued me.
and you would say, "Oh, I don't want to," and I just said, "Okay." So I think previous experience, to recap for the listeners, previous experience, people had come in and kind of gone, "Oh, you're not a glass maker, blower, whatever," and taken up a load of space and time unnecessarily. And actually, that's part and parcel why I would see on reflection why you weren't really looking forward to this one and you were in a bit of a
Yeah,
grump because you're
yeah,
running a pattern, a previous memory
yes,
pattern of what
yeah.
happened before and how you didn't enjoy it. So you're going in with a mindset, an expectation of I'm not going to enjoy this, rather than switching that mindset around. And that's all we did. We did had a bit of a chat.
Half
And
an hour chat with Jill, and I was sorted.
well, it was just
That's it.
it is. It's
I
just
just
you
rang
coming
you
and
because I rang you because I felt grumpy. There was nobody else I wanted to talk to I didn't think would understand. And I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna have a chat with Jill and see what she says and just see and just tell her what I'm doing. And she'll probably think I'm mad. But hey, because I think I'd already said I was going to close the door. I don't want to see anybody.
yeah.
I was in that sort of mood. I don't want to see anybody. I had about 25, 30 people in.
But that's when we said, why
There
don't you
were,
just put a little
yeah,
sign on the door
you
that says,
said
I'm a
yes.
woodworker.
Yes, you
You know,
did.
basically, I'm a woodworker. If you'd like to come in and discuss anything to do with wood, please knock on the door. And
Yeah. And
that's
I
and
saw
you had a lovely day.
quality people,
There you
quality
go.
people I've met before, or people interested in workshops. I do get, and I get it when people go to craft centres and all sorts, and they're retired or whatever, and they're wandering around and they've had their coffee and the cake, and they go into some workshop and they say, "Oh, my granddad was a this, or my uncle was a that, and he got these tools," and it is wonderful to share, and some of it occasionally is brilliant. Oh my life, I've got to tell you. And some of it is brilliant, but honestly, when you've heard it 30 or 40 times, 50 times a day, you're just like, oh, just go on. I don't want to talk to you. I'm grumpy and miserable. So I've got to tell you, and I don't care if he's listening. I'm sorry, Mr. Man. I don't care if you're listening, but I had somebody come in on Saturday, retired engineer, this, that, and the other. And I'm in the middle of fixing this chair. I will get back to the chairs in a sec, sorry. And I'm just about to glue up this really awkward blooming chair. And he says, And he says, "Oh, I've been doing some woodworking. I've been doing this and doing that." I said, "Oh, well done." And I don't think he clicked on the my short answers meant that I wasn't that interested, but he got his phone out and he was about, I'm pretty good with time. I bet he was 3 minutes or so swiping through to find a picture of something he's very proud of. Now, I'm sorry, but and we need some complaints. We need to ruffle the things here and get people to write in. It was dull. It was absolutely disgustingly dull. He'd bought some C16, which I think is 3x2, but with the round edges corner taken off from B&Q. He'd taken all the round edges off. He'd made them into a planter, 4 foot long, roughly, 12 inches thingy, 12 inches deep, painted them grey, and they looked dull. They probably cost him as much as if he'd have just bought them and clicked a button. He probably had great fun, Jill. I know you're going to stick up for him.
I am. I'm going to stick
No,
up for him.
stick up for him. But you know what? I mean, he was pleased as punch with it, and I was just like, I was disappointed. And I also thought, you know what? And I know you will argue for the other case, but I just thought you've spent your life as an engineer, and I don't know what you've done. You didn't go into any details. I mean, he could have been a fantastic train engineer. He could have been working on this or that. No, the most impressive thing that he has done over the last few years is make this planter, and he hasn't made one. He's made 10.
Well,
Okay, Jim.
now I'm
Bill's
going to
down.
stick up for him. All right. I'm going to stick up for him
Well, I get
to
it.
say, yes, that's his pride and joy. It's like me
Yeah.
starting to learn, starting to practice with wood. And I'm dead chuffed when I make something. Other people might not be. I've got a husband, as you know, Clive, who always sings my praises no matter what I make and goes, "That's brilliant. That's wonderful." And I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And in fact, I've done just that. In the last week is I was desperate. I'm calling it the need to weave, and I didn't really have any willow, etc. And I had a bit of hand caning cane, which not a good idea, I've realized, to try and start weaving with that. It just wasn't stick. Anyway, I managed it and I was chuffed to bits. Not brilliant, but chuffed to bits because it just meant that I could practice.
But
And I,
that's handmade and beautiful and it's woven. That's a
well,
skill. This is just.
no, but Jamie, I'm going to interrupt you and say, because you can do it, you don't see it as a skill. He doesn't do that. So anything to do with wood and making something, I can see you shaking your head. Don't you shake your head at
I'm
me.
shaking your head. I'm shaking my head and I'm going, she's right. If you can't hear me, I'm saying she's right. I know you're right. I'm just going to
Yes,
shake my head for
for
a bit longer.
him, that's a new skill that he's learned. He's dead proud of that. So I think, and he just wanted to show a real woodworker. Look, this is where I started. I mean, this is where I think, you're a great teacher, and I like, Mark, who I learnt with. We're learning, and we're so proud of whatever little bit of wood we managed to put together with another bit of wood.
I get that, Jill. I think it was the fact that I was in a rush to do something
Yes.
and he took 3 minutes to show me something, and it was a long way down his phone. And I was thinking, well, he's only finished it the other day, so how many pictures did he take of other stuff? And that was probably more interesting than what he actually showed me. I'm analysing him and his phone now. What's he got all?
Yes.
Why has he got? Why has he got 3 minutes worth of pictures on his phone? And if he's got 3 minutes, surely they've got to be more interesting than something set so far back. It takes him 3 minutes to find it.
That's what was winding you up, okay? Is the
Yeah,
fact that you were analyzing his phone.
I was
And
doing.
because I'm in a hurry and I'm in a rush and I don't really want to have this conversation, rather than, okay, I'm just going to be nice, and I get it.
I
I
can't
totally
switch
get
it
it.
on. I can't switch it on. I can't
No,
just be. Can you switch it on? You're. I'm sorry to change the subject. I mean, we're going to talk about chairs.
we
We'll get
will
back
get
to
back
chairs,
to these
but
shows.
oh, whenever. But you're similar. You're similar period to me. You're that start of the year Aquarian thing. So I'm just trying to get
Yes.
a. But and I bet you can. I bet you can just switch it on. I bet you can just switch the nice stuff on. I can't. I can't just switch it on. I can't just be performing. I can't. No, this is you take me as a
Jamie, I had years of training. So while you're
to
talking
switch it
about
on.
it, I had years of training, as we were called air hostesses in those days,
Yay.
years of training as cabin crew. which was, oh God, here come the passengers. Moo, 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 moo. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? So we, of course, it
But they
was
pay your
years of
bills.
practice.
They paid your bills. So you've got to be smiley happy, haven't you?
No, not always.
Not at midnight, not at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And so I think it's a learnt
Yeah.
thing as well. And I
Yeah.
always approach with a curious mindset
Yeah,
when
you have.
somebody's talking. Yeah, there are some people who just get on with it. You know, I've got friends, and I hope they might be listening, they might not, who have to give you chapter and verse. And if they miss out a tiny little bitty detail, we have to go back to the beginning of the story and start again. And it's my brothers, aunties, friends, neighbors, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, I'm really not interested.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, I put in a technique that kind of moves them along so that we can get
Yes.
to the bit of the story
Doesn't
that
matter.
I,
Details don't matter.
you
Just
know,
get to the story.
yes, but in a polite way, I move them along. Let me put it like
Oh,
that.
I'm
So you
getting
see, if that had been me,
grumpy.
I would have said to him, rather than it wind me up, I would have said to him, "Oh, you've obviously, if it was recent, you've obviously got a lot of photos on your phone."
You
So
would.
I would have engaged with that thought
You would.
process.
You're so better than I am because I was thinking, oh, go away. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. I just want to get this stupid chair done. And
But you see, now are you blaming him for the stupid chair? So you have to
oh,
look
Jill.
and go, okay, I'm
God.
being wound up by the stupid chair, which is leading me to this, which is
I
leading
was
me to react like that.
you're reacting to my reaction, your to reaction. I was okay with the chair. I
Okay.
knew what I'd got to do. So it wasn't that. I think it was the 3 minutes. I think it was the 3 minutes of silence. Somebody sort of quite close to you is so
But
I
that's where
don't.
I would
So
have
if it,
engaged. I
yes,
would have
but you're
engaged about
better
that.
than you're.
I would
I'm
have
fine,
engaged
come
about that 3 minutes. Rather than get wound up, I'd have got, well, I
rather than
probably would have
think,
been wound
Jesus,
up, but I would have
leave,
voiced it.
leave me alone, mate. Honestly,
Yeah.
take your
Anyway,
grey
back
timber.
to the
The
chair.
chair. So I repaired. I had two of these
And these were the
chairs.
ones we were talking about on the previous podcast, which you were saying were
Yes.
rubbish and they wouldn't hold weight and you had to
Oh,
support them. But this is a follow-up, an interesting follow-up, Jamie, to it,
you're
actually,
you're
isn't
you're
it?
leading me into it now, aren't you? Thank you. So during the festival, there was a very pretty young Japanese girl, 25-ish, assisting with the festival. And she came in and she pointed to the chair. She said, "Oh, that's from Hong Kong." And I was just like, I don't think it is. But with obviously the way she looked, I thought, well, I'm not going to say no, it isn't. You know what
Mm.
you're talking about. But she then introduced herself and very politely, beautiful, actually, the way she was with us. She's 25. I don't know. She's probably 30, probably 35. I don't know. And introduced herself to me and one of the other guys who was one of my students who was in. And we then started talking. She started talking about the chair, and she said, "Well, you know what this carving means?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, that's the clouds and this, that, and the other." Oh, okay. And she said, "You know the bit in the back?" I said, "Right, yes." Well, that's a long life. It's a motif used for long life, like 10,000 times, but they don't necessarily call it years because of I don't know how they do their years. But it's a symbol of long life and longevity, and not just a couple, but the couple's parents and their parents and their parents. So it's that sort of symbolism. And I was just like, blimey. And now I'm thinking she knows what she's talking about. So then I tell her, well, this chair's rubbish because the wood is too brittle, and the joint is not a structural joint. It's a cosmetic appeal, so how the joint
Mm.
appears. So it's about how it looks and not how strong it is. And then I said, this is what I found out, that some of these chairs aren't chairs, they're tables, and they put a back on it. And it can't take it. They can't take the weight. And she said, well, you know why she said, I've never seen one with a broken back because so she must have been much older than I thought. But she said she dealt with furniture and glass and so something to do with antique furniture and whatever. And she said, we never see these broken. And I said, well, why do you never see them broken? She said, because they are suitable. And she said, but don't forget, We don't use the backs of chairs. We don't lean against the back of a chair. We've got posture where we sit with a straight back. And yeah, you're nodding. Yeah, you're getting it. And it's us. It's us that are ruining those chairs because we slob on the chairs, we lean back on them, and guess what happens? The same blooming leg breaks each time because it can be a table. Okay. I mean, they're still not fabulous joints, but if you sit properly on them,
They're fine.
as the Chinese would, it would be fine. So I've got to tell this customer, I don't want to see your chairs again. I can't say that now because I sort of enjoy it in a way because it, as much as it's a pain in the neck, it is a challenge to get it right and do a good job. And it does take a while to do. And he's going to have to pay for it. So I do get paid for it.
This is where you can fill them in and say, "Oh, I've been doing a bit of research on
Yeah,
these chairs,
exactly. Yes, I will.
and this is a reason that they're breaking because
Yeah,
actually, for the culture that they are made for,
they
in
won't break.
they don't sit
Yeah,
back on the chairs. And I'm sitting in my chair leaning back, and there's a temptation to suddenly want to straighten myself
straighten your back.
up,
Yes.
straighten my back, and sit
So
forward.
it was really interesting. She was great. She read a couple of notes for me. I followed her on Instagram. She's followed me on Instagram. She's liked a few of my bits, so that's all right. Well, yeah, interesting. So the other thing of to do with chairs. So I have enjoyed that, and I do like repairing chairs. And I wonder if the reason I like repairing chairs is nobody does it really these days. If you've got a chair that's broken, who do you take it to? And I do like the fact that because of because of um, being a practical person from early age, because of making church furniture, because of building boats, awkward things, making parts, making things fit together, doing furniture, restoration, and all sorts. That I don't, I don't find it hard. I I find that I have to make sure I've got enough time to actually get the process done. And that's
Mm.
probably what I spend more time troubling with. Like I went in on Saturday and I said, right, today I'm going to get that blooming chair done out the way. And I did. And I got something else done and I was happy with it. I did some camera work. I did some repairs on a camera, a wooden camera. But yes, so the next thing I want to chat about chairs is I found that somebody is selling some chairs and they're selling garden chairs, which this might interest you, for a bargain price. £15 for 4 garden chairs, wood,
Wow.
timber, hardwood, but not rubbish, nice ones, worth having, something that looks comfortable and fold down, which suits me because I can put them away or bring
Put
them
them
in and
away.
out, put them in the back of the car, take them to work, clean them at work, bring them back, make them look beautiful. But it's an upgrade, it's a trading up from what I've already got. And what I've got is okay, but they've got sort of this horrible nylon seat that I'm aware is slowly, there's a little split getting a little bit bigger, and there's 4 of them around. And I'm thinking, well, do I get these £15 for
Hmm.
4? They're not even £15 each.
And
Do I
local to
get
you.
these? Sorry?
Local to you.
Yeah, not far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I get them and then take them to work one at a time and over the winter, give them a sand down, give them a clean down, put some oil on them, bring them back one at a time, make sure they're stored properly, and end up having 4 very nice chairs on the patio that would normally, if you were going to buy those sort of things, they're
Mm.
they're 150, £180
Mm.
each. So I'm
Wow,
thinking,
those sorts of chairs.
oh yeah, they're not. Oh yeah, they are nice. They are nice. They would suit me
Yeah.
in my elderly years as a woodworker. And just think, when you somebody comes and they or somebody comes to you and they say, "Ah, yeah, I knew you'd have something like that on your wall, or I knew you'd have a piece." For them to walk out and in the garden and go, "Yeah, you should have nice chairs. I see what."
Yeah.
Whereas the ones we've got are metal framed with this plasticky thing that Lynn bought 20 years ago. But I
Yeah.
think I could possibly get these 4 chairs and clean my other ones up, make a little repair, and probably get the same money for the ones I'm selling,
Yeah.
trading up. Is
Good
that the
term.
way to do it?
Yeah, I
I
think
think it
so.
is.
Yes.
And one of my guys, one of my no, afternoon guys that comes, he trades up, he buys tools and he buys bits and pieces, and he'll spot in this 30 item lot on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or wherever, and he'll spot that one thing that's actually just that one thing alone might be the cost, how much they're asking for the lot. And if I got that one and sold it, everything else is free and makes profit.
Hmm.
And I admire him for that. I admire his buying and selling skills. I really do. And I think it would be lovely to, especially if it's something you enjoy messing with and cleaning or whatever. And he doesn't clean them really. He just gives them a wipe over. He doesn't
Yeah.
polish the. Some people polish things like
But
phrase.
again, it comes back to
But
if they,
yeah,
it's what people want, and if you can
yeah,
trade up and then move stuff on, great. I mean,
yeah. So I
at the
think I might
moment,
do it.
if you like, I've traded up my two garden chairs to store my onions. We had some, I mean, we've had that very cheap set that we were always going to, they're fold up, they're slatted wooden chairs, the typical, no arms or anything, that you can
Right.
unfold.
Yeah.
And of course, now that I'm gardening, the table has fallen to bits. So I've used the bits of wood to support my veg beds, the wood that I've got on the edge
Yes.
of my veg beds. And I've hammered those into the ground, cut them up into stakes so that holds it all into place. And then I wanted to dry my onions. So
Yes.
last year I thought, I haven't got a rack. And there were lots of, I thought, oh, but I could use my garden chairs. So
Yes.
the garden chairs came out of the shed and are now sitting in the garage or my workshop. And they've got all my onions poked
Yeah.
down through the slats and are drying my onions beautifully.
I totally get it. I've never really noticed. I shouldn't say I've never seen it. I remember my granddad in his greenhouse, in the wooden slatted
Hmm.
tops either side of his lovely old greenhouse. Yes, I remember them hanging there and not thinking too much about them. But we went to a friend's allotment the other day, and she'd got this sort of cold frame looking thing, but with roof and felt on it at a little bit of an
Mm.
angle, and I didn't spot what was going on, but oh Jill, I've got to tell you about that as well. Anyway, um, I didn't spot what was going on there, and then we dug some potatoes. She got some beautiful potatoes that we've had, which were fir apple something.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Anyhow, we got some onions, and she went down to the onion bit, and I followed her, and in this messy looking typical allotment type made up out of bits and pieces little sort of cold frame with the roof and felt on. She'd propped it up with a nice stick and looked inside, and there was some nice woodwork in there, a couple of veils either end because she was a DT teacher, and there was some wooden slats for them all stand
Yeah.
for the for the stalks to drop down,
That's
and
right.
and
Yeah.
I looked inside. It was beautiful. It was absolute, and it was sort of. I tell you what it was. It was the juxtaposition between if you went onto that allotment, it was just like you don't notice anything, whatever, but you open that and it was the real person inside, the one where on allotment you sort of have to keep things a bit down so that they don't look too nice or somebody might help themselves. But she lifted the lid and it was brilliant inside. All organized, all neat rows, all 2 by 2 by 2, whatever, or I think the rows were about 7, and they just went
Yeah.
all the way across. And I was just like, yeah, this is brilliant. 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 I loved seeing that. Trading up chairs. And I was thinking about this earlier, and I was thinking about you and your upcycling. And for you, you get the enjoyment out of putting a color on a part or changing the way it looks, changing the way it feels so that it can suit a different audience, a
Mm.
different market. And I totally get that. And but I go back to my man with his grey things. I was just like, oh,
Well,
that's
as I
amazing.
say,
Oh,
something he was obviously learned, was very proud of. It might be something that his wife wanted or friends have wanted,
it
the
made 10.
planters, and go, exactly. So people have seen them and gone, yeah, because they cost a fortune. But
Yeah.
again, it takes me back to that when you say, oh, well, it probably cost him more, but it's the joy of doing it. It's actually
Oh,
not going and buying
yeah.
the
Yeah.
the mass market. As
Yeah.
people have said to me, why am I bothering upcycling something when I could go to a very well-known Swedish shop and buy it for £15. And I think, but that's what's wrong with
Yeah,
society, in my
yeah,
view,
yeah.
is that
The state of
we're
the world.
the state of the world.
Yeah.
And it's driving me, sometimes I have to kind of reel myself in and think, no, 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 this is driving me mad. Everywhere I'm looking, there's plastic or there's this, or
Oh,
why on earth are we having to make that? And I just think, no, no, reel yourself in, Jill. There's, it
it's
is when you
not
start to look.
it's not easy. It really isn't easy. And I know I send you videos sometimes and you say, calm down, Jamie, because you've seen too much of this sort of thing or whatever.
Mm,
But I did see one the other day that really sort of made me think, yeah, we knew it, but now you've said it, we really know it, which was that when the cigarette industry collapsed in this
mm,
country from the big numbers that they used to do, the majority of those scientists went into the food industry to
mm-hmm,
get people addicted to food, different
mm-hmm.
foods. So if you find yourself like I do with that loaf of bread that I do flip in like a lot, it's not because it's baked well, it's not because the ingredients are fabulously fresh or whatever, or was made yesterday.
Made
It's
it
because
addictive.
there are a little bit of tweaks in there.
That's right.
And I wonder then, so my little head did this sort of thing, and it was just like, I wonder then if that's some of our problems. I wonder if, just say that if some scientists were working for one food company, let's just say one supermarket, involved in all of that, and other scientists were with other supermarkets and they use slightly different chemicals. I wonder if, because this went through my head, is it that if you mix Sainsbury's so and so with somebody else, there's got something in there that's not going to be nice for you?
Mm.
And it's just like, this is really sad. This is really sad that we should have to think like this. Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm all over the place today. So
I'm
that was
not sure how I'm going to do the title from to,
oh,
Jamie, because we're everywhere,
just
from
put
chairs to.
he's waffling on again. So then I spent 9 hours on my computer yesterday going through loads of things, and I was very conscious that I wanted my channel to start lifting now. I know what the weather's doing. There are more people watching YouTube. I want a chunk of that. So how did I do it? What I did was, and I don't normally give things away, was I went to comments on other similar videos. I replied to that person's comment with something like, latest video out now, which includes this, that, the other. Here's the link. I hope you enjoy it. So, in a way, if I did that on somebody else's channel, they'd say, well, you're spamming. You're spamming somebody. You shouldn't do that. But it's my channel. And I actually thought that YouTube might stop me doing it, but they're not. And I've thought about it. They're not, because I'm actually messaging people who might not be on YouTube. Their phone or laptop might go bing, notification. Jamie's just said this on YouTube. They then go on to YouTube, so YouTube's happy, so they won't mind me doing this really. And then one guy said yesterday, I hadn't thought about it. What he said was, well, I'm subscribed and I don't understand why I haven't seen any of your videos since this one 3 months ago.
Mm,
So it backs up that maybe I am doing the right thing. You remember when people used to say, oh, you need a mailing list, get a
yeah.
mailing list. And I think that's the thing. I think a mailing list would actually be so
So
much
now,
quicker to get people to come back to your channel. So yes, he said, I've not seen any of your videos. You've not come up. I'm gonna have to go through your channel now and see what I've missed. And I was just like,
so when I get an email that says Jamie's, I've just put this up about the briquettes or
yeah,
whatever, that's automatically generated from YouTube when you put a video up and I've subscribed. Because to be honest, I've subscribed to channels and I don't get any notifications
no,
to say any videos have
I
gone up.
know.
So I'm not sure how I know
So
when
so you would have to go into YouTube,
I
go
know I
to
go down to my list on the side
subscriptions.
now.
Exactly, you'd go to your
Right. No,
subscriptions.
no, I don't get any notification when anybody posts a video.
But
I
you
don't
can
with Clive's channel.
but you can
So I'm
press a
going to plug Clive's
notification.
channel.
Well, it depends whether you've subscribed
Maybe I
or
haven't
hit
pressed notif.
notification.
Right.
So there's hit the bell. There's hit the bell.
Right.
Right.
So that would be why.
So I need to tell people to do that, don't I?
Yes.
Hit the bell.
She says having
Yes.
her own channel. I've just learned something. So
Yes.
it's subscribe and hit the
You've
chat,
got to
hit the
tell
bell.
people. You've got to tell them. It's a call to, it's called call to
I
ask.
didn't know that. Well, there
Call
you
to,
go.
yeah. And the reason that one video went to 178,000 views now, the reason that one went mad was because I introduced it nicely, saying I'm a woodworker doing this, whatever. I introduced it well. I don't script them. I haven't got time for that. And call to action, like, subscribe. I've got to
Hit
say,
the bell.
I've got to say now, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of the next video. And then I could
Yes.
add, because they won't YouTube won't tell you unless you hit that bell. So you've got to hit that bell, and that might generate more. And YouTube will like
Right.
that. And if you're saying that, YouTube will pick it up on the transcription, and they will see that, oh, this guy has asked people to hit the notification bell as well. Oh, okay, that's great, because that brings people back to YouTube, so they're more
Correct.
likely to promote the video. So that's where I've
Right.
been going wrong, isn't it?
Well, that's
I've
what
not been
I,
saying hit the
as you know,
bell.
I've started, I am now telling people I have started a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's great.
And now the first video, I've got a really funny face. So I have to go back in and edit that sometimes. When you bring up my channel, there's me with the first video and it's caught me. Anyway, I'll go back in and sort that out. But that's something else that I've just learned that nobody's actually mentioned when I've been watching YouTube videos on how to do YouTube. Nobody has said tell people. They all say subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Tell people to subscribe, but nobody's told me to tell people to hit the notification button.
No.
So actually, as somebody new to YouTube myself, I don't watch a load of. I mean, I go on there and Google, but I've only started subscribing to channels, and in my head, thought just by subscribing, I would get notifications when videos dropped. So I've obviously missed something or done something quickly and missed the detail about hit the
Hit the notification
notification.
bell.
That's a really good point, Jamie. So I'll start
Oh,
adding that and I'll
I've
tell
got to
Clive,
do it as well.
because Clive's got his YouTube. I mean, he's been on there and had videos for ages, but now he's getting very active to try and get to 1,000. It's really funny. I'm at 198. Where are you? 7. That's mine.
I was
I
at
go back here.
7.
I'm 7. But you've
We've
all
all
got to
been there.
start somewhere, and it's
You
a
have.
long-term project. But again, that's a great tip, and
It's probably, I
I'll
think,
go in and
yeah,
hit
I
your,
think the most important things have got to be, first of all, make a video. Secondly, tell people, subscribe, what we've just discussed, hit the notification bell, but like, share, comment, and tell people. They all make a difference. All of that makes a difference. But now
yeah.
the tip really from this, what I've just put out there, just said to you, is, yeah, if somebody's commented on one of your previous ones, on the next video, you do, go back to that video, go to the comments, and tell people new videos up, because if they haven't hit the notification bell,
That
this is a sort of notification bell. You get a reply comment to them, and you'll be able
right.
to tell them a little bit about what it's about, and a link for them
Well,
to
it's
press.
information, isn't
Yeah,
it?
a
I've
link for them to
updated,
press
and
that takes them straight to your next video.
it's about making it easy for people, Jamie,
Yeah,
so
it
they don't
is.
have to search through,
Nobody
search
wants to
through, search
search.
through.
Why
Nobody's
should I
got
search
that.
through your stuff? Why can't you just put it there, make
Exactly.
it
Why
easy
do you
for
just,
me?
yeah, put the link on
And
and make
that's
it
it.
easy for me? Yeah. And that's a really good idea. So what you're doing is, he says, you're going back on comments on
Yeah,
your own
yeah.
videos, previous videos. Yeah,
And
brilliant.
you can't do it to other people's videos. So you
Go and
can't.
put a link on somebody
Yeah,
else's.
and as I was going through them yesterday, actually, I was going through them. I think I copied and pasted between 300 and 400 times yesterday. I was on
Whoa.
my phone that long, but it's made a difference, because all of my numbers in the last 24 hours have gone up. 24 hours have gone up, all of them, as in subscriber counts tripled, the viewers has
Gone up.
quadrupled, which means the money will quadruple. So yesterday, whilst it was a long time,
So instead of
could be
£5, you'll have 20, Jamie.
no. So yesterday could have been worth 10 quid, but that lifted up. So I could be 9 quid today, 8 quid tomorrow,
Yeah.
7 quid the
Yeah.
next day. And if I do it again, put another one in, then that lifts them all a bit up again.
But it all
And
adds
then,
up.
yeah, because 10 quid a day is 3,500 a year.
Yeah, it all adds up.
3,500 a
Absolutely.
year when you're retired, like I will be
Tell me
one
about
day.
it.
3,500, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? We'd be, but for what? Not too much time. But the thing is, it's as you've just pointed out, it's early days. It's early days for me still. I know I've got a lot of subscriber count and whatever.
Yours is doing really well. And
Yeah.
Clive and I laugh, and his little face lights up when I've got another
Well,
subscriber.
yes, because we should be proud of
But as I
those
said to him,
things.
I think he'd had something like 60,000 views on his
Wow.
Godfather theme played on ukulele. So I'm giving him a plug here. And that's when I said to him, you should be monetizing. You should
Well,
be
but he hasn't got
building
to
your
1,000.
subscribers.
He hasn't got to
No, he hasn't got. That's why, but he hasn't been
right.
promoting it, Jamie. He just put a video up many, many years ago, and they've just sat there and he just puts them up. And I've said to him, no, you've really got to start
So
promoting it
I'm
now.
looking for him now. What's his thing,
He's
Jill?
Lorry Van Truck.
Oh, yes. Lorry
And
Van.
and there's a whole story running now
Honestly.
as to who is this Lorry Van Truck. Lorry spelled
Oh,
Laurie, then van as in van, and truck as in truck.
I'm
So
going to go
Lorry
back
is
to
not
lorry. That's
LORRY.
what I
It's a
did.
very subtle.
L
LAU.
R
Anybody listening? LAURIE.
Lorry Van Truck.
Yes, that's my husband's sense of
And
humor.
it comes up. I do like that. Lorry Van Truck. Very good. Harvey Clive.
That's it.
194 subscribers.
Oh, he was 198, I thought, the other day.
You just said 170 something. He's 194
Oh no,
now.
no, he was 100. I thought he was
Oh, they go down
198.
like everything else. It goes down as
Yeah,
well as up.
yeah. Oh,
31 videos, and let me just have a quick
yeah,
look. His most popular one is the Godfather medley,
yes,
ukulele solo, 30,000 views. Brilliant.
yes. I knew it was something
It
ridiculous
might
in
be
the
more than,
thousands.
so I'm saying 30,000.
Yeah,
His figures on the thing might be different. It might say 45 for him. Only he will know the true figures.
right.
But yeah, he should be
But that's what I said to him.
promoting it.
He should be doing something with his channel. So now he's starting to get really interested in that. As you say, it all helps the pension, Jamie, as you get
It
older. And
does, and I think we've got to
he's
do
going
it.
to start putting up a whole load of, if you want to learn how to play ukulele, he's going to start doing those types of videos as well.
Yes, he put
So
the traveling Woodbury's ukulele band play the
yes,
blues. I
yes,
will traveling
that's our
Woodbury's.
little video.
Very good. I will I've got to listen to that.
I think we're done.
Sorry,
So we're
people.
going from
Sorry. Yes.
chairs to grumpy Jamie. So this might be from chairs to hitting the notification button.
Yeah. I mean, it could just be a chair and a bell.
Simple as that. Exactly. So I
Chair
need a
and a
chair
bell.
and a bell. Okie dokes. Well, there we go. We're done for another 3 weeks. Thank you to, as I say, as always, to our subscribers, to our people who listen regularly.
Poor people.
And
Poor people. Sorry. I apologize.
as you say, we talk about all sorts of things. We go off in all sorts of different directions, but hopefully there's a little gem in there, either from Jamie or myself, that really helps you work out what's going on or helps you in your daily life. So from us, from Jamie and myself, again, thank you very much for listening. And well, we'll be back again in 3 weeks, Jamie. You have a good 3 weeks.
And you. Thank you, bye.